for people to understand why that, which is not democracy, that's the border issue. And you're right, they fucked it up. That, with like the things he's been saying, and all the people in his administration who said he's a fascist, he wants to be a fascist, he talks like a fascist, his friends are all dictators.
I don't care about that at all. Not at all.
Because?
January 6th was not good.
Wait, why don't you care about that at all?
Because they've been saying that about Trump for years. They've been saying that about Republican candidates for years.
What's so ironic, Rita, is that through the 1990s, it was the Democrats who insisted that we have a strong border because their base was labor. It was the Democrats saying, why would we allow millions of people to come here from other countries and undercut our workers? When Donald Trump showed up and said, wow, we should probably control immigration and protect our working class, the Democrats realized that he had picked up not just their agenda, but their working class base, increasingly of all races. The real threat that Donald Trump poses is not that he is a divider. It's that he has united the working class in one voice against the elites who hate them.
It has like a long storied history. If you are at all center or center right, you are used to having your candidate of choice completely demonized, whether it's the F word, the R word, the misogynist word. They tried to tell us Mitt Romney was a raging sexist because of binders full of women. They tried to tell us John McCain was a raging racist, notwithstanding the fact that he had adopted a daughter from Bangladesh. They've been doing this for every Republican. They get to Trump, and we no longer are listening to them. Trump has incendiary rhetoric, there's no question, but we have 4 years to judge him by, and the country was going pretty well when Trump was in there, unlike the 4 years we've had under these two.
Well, I mean, I could argue with that too. Actually, if Trump had this economy, and I could go through all the stats, the stock market is through the roof, wages are up.
Not as high as it was under Trump.
Well, first of all, Trump inherited somebody else's economy.
That's what Barack Obama would like us to do.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
It's really on day one, everything changed.
So
when Trump
just walk me through it. So Trump has Obama to thank for his economy, but Biden can't thank Trump for anything.
Okay. Let's get off this.
As someone who voted for Trump, I get a lot of comments about how can you support a Nazi fascist? How can you support America's Hitler, right? From all these left-wing guys that happen to see this channel. And my reply is like, yo, I don't believe what you say it is. Like, you don't have any evidence. Show me where Trump has done anything Hitler-like. He drunk water. Hitler liked water. Therefore, he's Hitler. This is exactly the argument many leftists makes on my channel. Sometimes I overhear them and I go like, y'all make no damn sense. Hitler was an atheist, so therefore all atheists Nazis? Like, make it make sense. Just because Hitler did it doesn't make it Hitler-esque. Oh, Hitler said it was a bloodbath. He used the words bloodbath too. These people, bro. All right, and they take things out of context, right? I just finished doing a video of how Joe Biden literally said Trump supporters are garbage. And the media is trying to do the exact same thing they do to Donald Trump, except in benefit of Joe Biden. They're trying to twist his words to say he did not say that, while Trump said something and they try to twist his words to say he did say something. Oh, the enemy within, he meant us. He meant his political enemies. I mean, isn't the current governing government, the current governing administration, the Biden-Harris administration, ain't there DOJ going after him for stuff that you could chalk it up to disagreement? You don't believe that Trump evaluation of his house was accurate, therefore you hit him with fraud? Make that make sense. You want to brag about how he has 34 counts. 34 counts that's waiting on a repeal. 34 counts where there was not a single victim. 34 counts because a biased judge wanted to get Trump, didn't want Trump to change the venue, which is in a district where it overwhelmingly voted Democrat, which filtered out which the jury pool will be overwhelmingly Democrat. And you don't think that political bias played no part in how he got his conviction? But then these same people will talk about how corrupt the justice system is. But when you look at the corrupt justice system, many of the things that black people experienced in the criminal justice system is ran in Democrat-heavy cities. And yet they still sit here and lecture me, a black man, to say that I need to vote for Kamala Harris. Get the F out of here. And then the intro you saw, I know this is a long-winded intro. Subscribe if you like what you're hearing so far. Like the video, helps me in the algorithm. I'm going to show you a clip of Megyn Kelly. Not a clip, actually. Megyn Kelly going to debate Bill Maher on this fascism claim, because I'm starting to get sick and tired of all this fascism talk. And this is how you cheapen words. You use it where it does not actually warrant the use of the word. But I digress. Let's take a look.
These are the dictator countries. There's a very World War II feeling here when the dictator countries are getting together. I mean, in World War II, what did Hitler and the Japanese have in common? Nothing, except they saw the world one way, fascism. They all have to do it in their different way. Iran is a fascist country in their own way. So is China, so is Russia, Saudi Arabia, you could say also. Somehow, the world seems to be dividing between the good guy countries, the democratic countries, and these autocracies. And if your guy gets in, we're going to be on the wrong side of this one.
Okay. If my guy gets in, I think we'll go back to the time that we had when he was president, which is the only time we didn't start a war and get involved in a war. Did Putin?
That's not true.
Did Putin?
Jimmy Carter never fired a shot.
Putin did not invade Ukraine until Biden took over. We had the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, which projected weakness through the world. People.
I agree with that. Right. And sorry, I had to break in, guys, copyright, guys. I have to break it in here. But before she continues her point, what they outline is, if your guy gets in, that's subjective framing, right? Y'all said that 8 years ago, 2016, when Trump was running. You said, oh my God, he's gonna destroy this country. The country will never be the same again. He's gonna be y'all said the same ish y'all said in 2016, you're saying right now, and it didn't happen. Therefore, when a liberal tries to make this framing that Donald Trump's a Nazi, fascist, whatever, you said the same thing about him in 2016. Yet here we are, 2024, and we're still here. We're still a republic. Right? We still have our laws, and nothing really changed fundamentally. We just had good results under Donald Trump until COVID came, and that's where everything went to ish. But that wasn't his fault. But here you are, no credibility. Like history has shown that, and this is why no one believes the mainstream media anymore. You saying all this ish, you talking all this junk, you giving us all your perception, your subjective conjecture, right? Conjecture, your liberal conjecture. Oh, this is how I see things. You should see it too. No, because the reality is it didn't happen the way you say it happened, and therefore you're not credible when it comes to judging Trump's character or what Trump's going to do. Right? And this is the reality. I want to show you this clip before I go back into reacting to the video of a Hollywood actor that decided to endorse Donald Trump, not because he likes Trump, but because who Trump decided to put himself around. And I think this is a good message to kind of break up this fear-mongering from the left. Let's take a look.
I'm not voting for Donald Trump. I'm voting for Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy and Tulsi Gabbard and Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and JD Vance and everyone else that they're going to bring in this team, this Avengers, this Voltron, whatever you want to call it. And they're going to get in there and actually do what Donald Trump said he was going to do the first time, which is drain the swamp. And he has admitted that he couldn't do it and he didn't do it because he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't even think he was going to win the first time. And he had no time for his transition team. And then it was loaded with a bunch of sycophants and horrible people that were the swamp monsters that Bobby Kennedy has very accurately pointed out. And so now they're privately funding. I love this, that Trump is privately funding his own transition team, not waiting for the government. So they are ready to go. And they are not compromised. That is the government that I want. That is something. Bobby is 100%. He and Tulsi are going to be let loose to be the bulldogs that we need to hold people to account. And by the way, and they will do it fairly. They will do it civilly. They will do it in love. I've sat with both of them. They are incredibly wonderful human people.
Yeah, if an actor is coming around to Trump, like what excuse does Bill Maher have, really? Right? Does he just have a personal vendetta against Donald Trump, and that's why he's not voting for him? Tribalism, right? Emotionalism. And emotionalism is how we got here in the first place. It's time to vote on logic now. It's time to weigh your trade-offs. This is logic thinking. This is rational thinking. No matter who you pick, it's going to be a struggle. Who would you rather during the struggle? I'd rather get Trump. I'd rather a guy that tried to make peace in the Middle East. I'd rather he handles the situation between Iran and Israel, right? I want the guy that got Zelensky to be like, yes, we must end the war quickly. I want that guy. Not Joe Biden and his don't. And the war still started. No one respects Joe Biden. No one is going to respect Kamala Harris. And no, it's not because she's a woman. It's because she's incompetent. Look at everything that Kamala Harris has been in charge of. Nothing got done. No positive results came about her being a part of it. I'm just saying. But I digress. Let Megyn Kelly cook.
People understood that we were enfeebled, and that is what was provocative. Weakness is provocative.
I feel like
Trump destabilized these people. They didn't know what to expect of him. Next thing you know, he's bombing Soleimani. Trump did strategic strikes that had people on their heels. They didn't know what he might do to them, and we did not have Putin invade
It's what he might
Ukraine.
do to us that I'm a little more worried. I feel like
We've had 4 years of Trump. We've had 4 years of Trump.
Yeah.
Trump did not go after
So
his
what?
political enemies with the Department of Justice.
Right.
That was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Exactly. Right? And what's your rebuttal? Bill Maher?
Well, we had Hitler in the 30s and things were okay, and then we had Hitler in the 40s and they got way worse. Just because we had him.
He hit his Hitlerism the first 4 years, and is going to come out in full force.
He tried to do things like that. He tried to do dictatorial fascist things, and he was stopped.
Joe Biden has flouted the law when it comes to these student loan giveaway programs. He's flouted the law.
Really? You talk about student loan? The student loan forgiveness program contributed 27% towards the inflation rate that we and all Americans are suffering from right now. 60% of Americans do not have any college debt, yet majority of the taxpayer money is being used to forgive these people against what the Supreme Court ruled. The Supreme Court ruled that, hey, to give student loan forgiveness, it must be an act of Congress. The president cannot do it through executive order. And what Joe Biden did, he did FDR. He did it anyway. And you're calling Donald Trump fascist? Name me a situation where Donald Trump did something the same way that Joe Biden just did. The Supreme Court got in my way, and I still did it. And then to add insult to injury, it caused inflation for Americans all across the board. But when Democrats do it, oh, no, that's good fascism, huh? And this is why I don't trust Bill Maher when it comes to Donald Trump, because he has shown a lack of an ability to objectively evaluate Trump. He can evaluate their voters and say, hey, this is why people are voting for Trump. But Trump himself, he cannot accurately evaluate him because of his personal emotional bias. I digress. Let's continue.
Supreme Court opinions that told him he didn't have the right to do it, and he openly said, I will get around the Supreme Court. He did it with respect to rent abatement programs, the same exact thing, and then he and Kamala Harris unleashed this Department of Justice against their political enemy, Donald Trump, their #1 chief rival for the presidency.
Okay. Well, we'll
Is
see.
it funny? Because they did it.
We'll see.
You want to talk fascism? That's fascist.
I think history is not going to be kind to your point of view, but I appreciate you coming on and saying.
I mean, history hasn't been kind to your point of view, Bill Maher. I mean, you're the same guy that made fun of Dennis Prager when he told you, yeah, they're trying to put tampons in men's bathrooms, and you laughed. Your audience laughed the same arrogant way. Ann Coulter, when she came on your show 2015, I believe, and she said, who will win the presidency? She said, Donald Trump. Your audience did the exact same thing, but you want to talk about history is not going to look kindly on Megyn Kelly's point of view? Make it make sense. Megyn Kelly is pointing out things that's actually going on currently in 2024 in our country by your preferred candidate, by your preferred party, and you're sitting here pretending that, it's not happening. And you see why I have such a negative bias against liberals. Because liberals, all through my life, they do the same condescending, dismissive, condescending-ish. You make a good point, they don't got nothing to counter it, nothing to challenge it, and they sit here trying to find ways to dismiss your point of view. Because liberals, honestly, and this is me talking as an individual, as an independent, liberals actually believe that you have every right to be anything you want except a conservative, except a Republican, except something they don't like. And this is my biggest problem with liberalism. It's very passively authoritarian. What points did he bring up? Nothing. Just narratives, just rhetoric. This is rhetoric. Rhetoric is something you cannot back up with facts, with no evidence, no verifiable evidence.
Donald Trump, their #1 chief rival for the presidency.
Okay.
They're laughing, but Didn't you just try to take out Donald Trump from the ballot? When the assassination attempts happened, it took y'all like what, maybe 2 days, and y'all went right back attacking him again. Y'all call him Hitler when he has not done nothing even close, remotely close to being Hitler. But look what Joe Biden is doing. And we all know all you have to do is do the inverse theory. Inverse theory is if it happened the opposite way and you would have had a problem with it, that means consistently you should have a problem with what's going on right now. So if you was really worried about fascism, you'll be worrying about what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is doing right now. Trying to dehumanize your political enemies, calling their supporters garbage, calling them Nazis, calling them the worst things in history, to dehumanize them. That's what Hitler did. Hitler dehumanized Jews, called them evil spawns of Satan, made them the blame for all the poverty in Germany and say, look, all these Jewish people are taking all the wealth, right? This is the rhetoric Hitler was using. And you don't see that same kind of rhetoric being done by the Democratic Party, and you sitting here trying to lecture to me that Donald Trump's the fascist here? Democrats, the party of racism. Democrats, the party of slavery, founded on slavery. Democrats, the people that Hitler actually took his playbook from. When people go, oh, Hitler learned from America. Hitler saw what America was doing with racism and slavery, and they say, hey, we could do the same thing to Jews. All that came from the Democratic Party because it was the Democratic South that had most of the slaves, if not all of the slaves. The Democratic Party who has inspired Hitler to do the things he did in Germany. That's context for you right there. But you know what? We know a typical Democrat, when they're caught guilty of doing something by themselves, they try to spread the blame around. That's the typical Democrat playbook. Spread the blame around. Oh, it was America. Hitler got it from America. No, not America. Democrats, right? And this is the problem. This is why it's typical liberalism. Bill Maher, his show, it encapsulates. It's the avatar. It's the perfect illustration of how liberalism comes across to me: condescending, dismissive, passively authoritarian. Like, who are you to decide whether or not I should have a certain view of a candidate? Who are you to decide that I'm allowed to vote for a candidate or not? Who are you to decide that, oh, you don't know much about your life, let me do it for you? I know what's best for you. That's how liberals come across. Oh, I know what's best. I don't think history is going to look favorable on your decision. We'll see. Because every time we listen to a liberal, look at the situation we get into. Let's return to normal. Let's vote for Joe Biden. Americans vote for Joe Biden. What we got? Record high inflation. Real wages are down. They're exaggerating job numbers to make the economy look greater than what it was. They redefined the definition of recession. Yet you think doing more of the same is actually going to give us a different result? That's insanity. And I'm done with it. I think many Americans are done with it. And if you want to be done with it, I think you should vote for Donald Trump. Honestly. If you're tired of this, like, come on, you can't reward the Democratic Party for doing this ish. This is typical Democrat liberal projection. Everything they say Donald Trump is going to do, they actually did. Donald Trump's going to start World War III. Who about to start World War III? Biden. And you think you want Harris to take over and manage what's going on when you see how she's managing her own campaign? That's exactly how the country's going to be if you put her in charge. I guarantee it. But I digress. I think Megyn Kelly did a great segment there. I think she made some valid and great points there. But let me hear from you. What you guys think about it. I'd like to hear your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.